Nobody's listening, right? Hi, Andy.
Hello.
Very excited to speak with you, as though no one were listening.
Oh, yeah.
But is anyone out there listening?
Yeah, this comes from Amanda.
Aw.
Makes my day 5 stars. We appreciate the 5 stars.
Yeah, we do.
Love listening to the two of you. Just finished every single episode and joined Patreon for more. Wish you lived down the street.
Oh, who knows? Maybe we do.
Maybe we do.
So Patreon, if anyone wants to get in on that action, there are almost 1,000 hours of us talking.
I think there are.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's patreon.com/nobody's listening right. And I wanted to just get this out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
This month's episode, I feel like the bonus episode will have already come out this month because it comes out on the 15th every month on Patreon.
Uh-huh.
And we will discuss all things Ramona.
So if you want to hear
Elizabeth crying.
for an hour.
Yeah, 60 minutes
For
at
60
least.
minutes.
But it was a whole, we have said goodbye to Ramona.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole process. And I don't want to just talk about, I want to talk through every part of it.
Yeah.
So head on over there for an hour of laughs.
I may or may not get emotional. I just want everyone to know that I did actually get emotional during the whole thing.
You are like Alexandra, the girlfriend of Charles Leclerc, where it might seem like you're not emotional, but you are very emotional.
But yes. And there were water. I just don't want people to think I'm a monster or anything.
Well, I don't even know why you might cry during this whole thing. I bet you will. I'm going to get you to.
Okay. So if you want to check that out too, patreon.com/nobody's listening right.
Yes. Great.
Was a heavy week.
Yes, it was. You know what I did yesterday to...
Ramona's a cat.
Was a cat?
Don't make me. It's too soon to make those jokes. I've noticed you and I have been making, in not regards to Ramona the cat.
Well, that was a half joke. I mean.
Right. But we've been going for the jugular on some things lately that, like, I know you and I find so funny, but, like,
I've needed
are we
to.
becoming bad people?
Or maybe we're just letting that part of ourselves shine a little brighter than normal. But what was the thing I said last night? You were like, oh my God.
So basically, yeah, I feel like I try to push it further than it should go.
Yeah.
And 80% of the time you call me out and you're like, Andy.
Yeah.
But then the other 20%, you go way further than I had gone and you take it to this next level. I'm trying to think of a good example.
Well,
anyways, we go dark.
It's been a dark period, I will say. And also a dark period, fully understanding we have so much to be grateful for. And we've had also very bright moments in the last couple of weeks, but there's been a lot of change. It feels like a lot of endings. Ramona passed on Monday.
Yeah.
And so that was two days ago. Today's Wednesday. And the way I dealt with it yesterday, I gave myself just a day. It also happened to be the last day of school.
Yeah, not great timing.
The timing was really tricky, which I want to talk about on Patreon, just like the logistics of everything. But I decided to watch the Jinx Part 2 full 6 episodes, just back to back. And you were a little concerned about that choice.
Yeah, I was.
But here's the thing about that. I do have limits with like docuseries. I can't watch I'm not a huge true crime person that I just want to hear, but I totally get the instinct to want to hear about this stuff because I think it's almost self-protective. Like, if you have all this information about all these murders that have happened, it's almost like now I can some subconscious part of me can avoid it or something.
I don't think that has anything to do with the allure for people.
What do you think the allure is?
People are fucked up and they love hearing about this shit.
People are fucked up. So in the Jinx, like, spoiler for anyone who, first of all, loved the Jinx, the original.
Loved the Jinx.
Favorite film
We
of all.
actually did. We did
love
quite
it.
enjoy
Well,
part one.
Just in terms of storytelling, it almost doesn't get better than
a
the
guy
finale.
chopping up people's. Oh yeah, but
the final, that was so satisfying, and I don't think there has ever been a time in a docuseries where someone got caught, and that spoiler, that audio of him saying
Jinx.
Jinx.
It is so satisfying.
The audio of him saying, well, that's it, you're caught, killed them all, of course, totally helped convict him. I mean, he didn't.
Later on,
he didn't really serve enough time because he died. But
he died.
Yeah, which is a bummer on so many levels. Not the ones that you might think, but like for the families, he really didn't. Like, justice didn't really feel served. And California has this weird law where
if you say the same word that at the same time as another person does, you can't talk until the other person
says your name 3 times. By the way, was that hang on, we're really all over the place. That's the new thing with kids these days, is when you jinx, first of all, you can like bounce the jinx up to the ceiling and come back down. And then to get out of the jinx, you can't talk until someone says your name 3 times.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what unwound it for us as kids, but it was a similar type situation.
I really don't remember either. I thought it was just Jinx, I owe you a Coke. I don't remember being like, I'm not allowed to speak.
Oh, no, that was the fun part, is that person couldn't spank. Spank.
They couldn't
Whoa,
spank.
couldn't speak?
Oh, boy. Anyway, the law in California is that if someone dies, so if someone's convicted and they haven't had a chance to appeal. Why are you laughing?
You are shrinking. Sorry, quick tangent, but we woke up this morning and there's a whole brouhaha about how our daughter's growing, but she's not. You're shrinking. We put a box for Elizabeth's feet.
Wait, hang on. Let's come back to that.
Okay.
Let me get this out.
Okay, sorry.
If you die before you've been able to appeal the conviction just gets thrown out.
I see the benefits of that in the system. Here it is. You want to know the biggest benefit?
Yeah.
When we're talking about the justice system and resources.
Okay.
No, it's like, what is the point? The guy is dead, and I do understand the idea of like closure for the family, like hearing that he's guilty, but it's also like we are wasting, the judicial system is already so complicated and so expensive. Why waste it on this?
Okay, that's fine, but here's the problem.
Tell me.
With that. So potentially his estate would have appealed it, but now they don't have to because he was almost, billionaire.
Okay.
And the problem with it is there are other people who are have probably been, what's the word, conspired with him to cover up these crimes and stuff like that, who should be probably brought to justice. Also, the family is suing the estate.
A civil case, right?
A civil case.
You can still do that, right?
You can still do that, but the case is a lot stronger, I believe, if you can say he was convicted of this crime. And you can't say that. Like, similar to, remember the like Natalia Grace thing where like they couldn't bring up the age situation, and it's like you can't say that to the jury. Yeah. Which makes it so there are a lot of issues. But anyway, the reason I wanted to watch that was because, and you thought it was a weird choice, but I felt
it was a bad choice.
But I actually think it was exactly the right choice for me.
Okay.
And it's because
you're sick.
I wasn't going to have like a happy, sunshiny day watching I don't fucking know. Like
Legally
Arrested Development, Legally Blonde, whatever, and feeling like comforted. That's not how it works. I also didn't want to watch like Beaches. I've cried too much. I'm dehydrated. I don't need to cry.
Mm-hmm.
But I needed to funnel my kind of down feelings into a different direction.
Yeah.
And the Jinx scratched that itch perfectly. And people are fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This section of the Jinx showed that, like, okay, he was tried for one of his murders in Georgia or somewhere in the South, Alabama, I think, and was proven not guilty, even though he admitted to dismembering this person's body and throwing it away like trash. But he didn't do the killing. He just did the dismembering, and I guess he couldn't come up with who did the killing. I don't know. The jury found him not guilty. The like main juror who spoke during the trial then becomes best friends with this guy.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like a moth to a flame. You want to involve at the very least, a dismemberer in your life, your family, with your wife, your kids. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
It's like those women that become pen pals and then marry the serial killers.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is
But that I can actually understand a little bit more.
How come?
Everybody likes a dangerous guy. You know what I mean? Like
a bad boy.
A bad boy.
A real bad boy.
This is weirder. Yeah.
Don't want to bring him home to mommy. He might eat her. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then on top of that, the Robert Durst's best friend. Now, this is different because they were friends before all the murders and stuff. But this guy, who's married to a woman who seems very smart, and I kept waiting for her to say, so I've divorced him, but she didn't. They're still married. This guy was best friends with Robert Durst and then the other woman he killed. The three of them were best friends.
Okay.
He, like, cannot see that he did all of this, even though he's admitted to dismembering. He's admitted to, like, it's like, how many red flags do you need? And how blind does society get to a privileged white man who has $500 million? Like, so willing to overlook insane fucking things. And then, yeah, whatever, I could go on and on. But as you can see, it truly was successful in rerouting my negative feelings. And also, like, really reminded me how people are fucking nuts out there.
They're nuts.
Yeah.
I find it very wild, those relationships of people getting attracted to these like crazy people. There's someone recently told me we should watch. It's from maybe like 5 years ago. Ben Stiller directed it. It's on HBO, and it's about one of the prison breaks that like the guard let the guy out and they were in love, but it's supposed to be really well done.
I would love someone to do a docuseries just about those women who are doing just what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Pen paling, marrying, nightmare sociopath murderers. And like, they're not in it for money. It's truly just like a moth to a flame of chaos and destruction, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Or I can fix this person, like my type of love. This person has no love and mine can fix them. But I would love to go into the childhoods of all of those women. And I'm sure there would be some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I mean that's kind
not
of
like we hope that exists, but we know it does.
We hope there's a reason.
Yeah,
for
it's
this
not
behavior.
Just random. Like
no, he was hot. I knew from the moment I saw his headshot on the news.
Yeah,
that's my guy. So okay, I think we should decide right now. Are we gonna watch the Diddy documentary on Hulu?
Oh, I watched it. Didn't I watch it?
It just came out.
I watched something.
It just came out.
Like yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, then no, I haven't watched it. I watched some, I think it was on like Tubi. I watched some crappy
Oh, yeah. No,
Diddy,
this is like the official one.
TMZ.
And I think this is the one that there was a bidding war because it's 50 Cent's production company behind it, which I love.
Oh, I would definitely want to watch that because I just watched a bad version of it.
Okay.
So I think
it's going to be dark, but okay. I just wanted to decide now in case people wanted to check that out.
I'm all for dark right now. I mean, not, you know what I'm saying.
Well, what I was going to say is I understand your reasoning, but wouldn't it just like comfort food watching be better? Not necessarily something that had to make you feel good or feel bad. You don't have to watch Beaches that's going to make you cry. You don't have to watch a super funny comedy. Just
well, so mine would be like
food.
Golden Girls.
Yeah.
But Golden Girls is just kind of numbing me out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I think I would sit there. It is like comfort food, but my thoughts would keep going back to Ramona and I would, feel really down. Whereas this, I was like feeling all these great feelings that are coming up now of outrage and like confusion but invested in it in a way.
Okay.
So it's all good. So let's talk about how I'm weirdly shrinking.
Yeah. So our daughter said she was getting taller, and everyone's like, oh, you're getting taller. Hey, she's probably having a growth spurt. That happens.
Yes.
It was fun timing. It was the first day of summer.
And summer, we do know, is when kids grow the most. It's fact. You can look it up. But
because of the sun?
I don't know. But there's this great book that Rachel Bloom gave us when Teddy was born called You Are Stardust.
Oh, yeah. That is a cool book.
And it talks about like your hair falls like fall leaves more in the fall and winter.
Right.
You grow more in spring and summer because that's when things grow. I don't know. But what I was going to say was I went to hug her. I can kind of base their height. We're not measuring them. And unfortunately, we're not a family who does the like height chart. I feel like I tried that at one point and, it just got lost in the shuffle, but I can tell from like where her head is on my body.
Mm-hmm.
And normally I have to kind of stoop down to kiss the top of her head.
Yeah.
And I no longer have to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. But then we come in here and I sit down and like, I normally, which sounds so geriatric.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, geriatric on the Jinx.
Uh-huh.
It was the first time I watched a docuseries and two of the talking head experts they had.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow. Like, it would be inappropriate for someone my age to be in a relationship with them. That's how old I am.
The experts were younger, you mean?
They were so young.
Like how young?
Well, I don't know, and I don't know if just because now I'm almost 45, my like perspective has shifted.
Mm-hmm.
They're two, I want to say boys, but men who are in the DA's office were part of the prosecution team.
Yeah.
So they are obviously old enough to have gone through middle school, high school, college,
right.
law school. But they looked so young, and it was two of them talking, that I was like, oh God, I feel really old. It's the first time that I felt like.
And you were feeling old because you wanted to date them, but you realized that would be inappropriate?
Well, no.
You were doing the math on if these young lads were out of your league in the age bracket?
It's just a way of describing how young they are. And yes, that it's the first time I'm watching a docuseries, and two of the experts on it are of such a young age that it would be I'm more like their mother. I don't know if they're into that.
Listen, I don't think you need to shame anybody or be closed-minded. You can date whoever you want. If it's, consensual adults and it's legal, of course.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, kind of, to a point. But looking at these young boys, it would be inappropriate. They're like children.
Okay,
to me.
That does sound inappropriate.
Yeah.
But just to be clear, you got it and you can get it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Thank you so
I
much.
like the rule of halving your age and then adding 7. That's as low as you can go.
That sounds like such a disgusting...
So let's do it for you. 44 divided by 2, 22, plus 7, 29. You shouldn't be dating a young man that's under 29.
Okay. I'm not dating anyone. I got my boo.
Mm-hmm.
But that feels like such a gross rule that some guy came up with to justify dating a really young woman. But on the flip side, like, that is a good rule, and we have a lot of friends who have broken it.
Looking at you, Jerry. If you're 50, 25 plus 7, 32, it does kind of work. It keeps things without the absurd. 60, you're 37. Ooh. But I'm fine with that. It's a 37-year-old. You can decide if you want to date a 60-year-old.
And also take a look at things.
If you're 80 and 47.
Therapy.
80 and 47. Does that work?
That's tough. Let's move on. Okay, so
it's what's becoming so clear. What's so clear about you lately is like you revealed last week that every single guy you meet, you're subconsciously figuring out how big their dick is, and now you're also deciding if they're old enough or young enough to date.
Ew.
What a picture.
What a picture. And I'm sorry this is all back-to-back episodes. I truly...
Because I wouldn't have figured it out otherwise.
No, it does sound bad. And I truly am like very secure in us. And I'm not looking for... I would hate to be out there. Yikes.
I had a friend recently say that to me because I was like chiming in on like dating advice, and they're like, "You have no fucking clue what you're talking about."
Oh,
and
really?
I was like, "Yeah, that is true."
What were they saying about it out there?
There's a lot of VD. I'm just kidding. Your face.
God.
You were like, "Whoa, it is heavy out there."
Jeez.
No, I forget. We were talking about like what someone should do, just like the etiquette of something.
Of what?
I don't know if I should be talking about it.
Okay,
I would want to
so curious,
I would want to get permission. No, but it was just the kind of thing of like dating multiple people. At what point do you tell this person you don't want to be dating them because you found someone else that you like better? All that kind of stuff. Like, how do you navigate that? Now there's texting. You're meeting up in person. Are you calling?
You know what I appreciate about our generation that I don't think this generation has?
We didn't have text messaging.
Well, we didn't have we didn't have Instagram, all this stuff. Great.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Instagram and the mix of dating becomes very complicated.
It's so annoying to have to deal with that.
So that actually factors into what I'm about to say, which is that when there are all these like rules for us, even sexually, we had bases. We knew like we're getting to first base, then we're getting to second, and now the rules are out the window. I think for good reason, also because, you know, same-sex sexual relationships aren't going to follow these bases the same way, and things are different. Sex can mean all sorts of different things now.
I think the bases still work for those kind of relationships.
Okay, well, first base to me was getting felt up.
First base is kissing.
Oh.
Second base.
I guess we had different bases.
Second base is over the shorts, above the waist. So, yes, getting felt up.
Under the clothes, though.
Third base was third base was downtown.
Yeah.
And fourth base was sex.
Okay.
And you might be calling like rounding third, going to home, oral stuff.
Oral. Well, anyway, we at least had these guideposts as young, dumb kids, like fumbling through all of this. We knew what we were like working towards in a way that I feel like doesn't exist the same way.
Yeah.
Secondly, there were guideposts in terms of relationship. Like, you're dating. You asked me to be your girlfriend. I remember.
We were little kids.
Huh?
We were just young kids.
We were not. We were in our early 20s. We were young kids. Whereas a 44-year-old woman looking at you would have said that would be inappropriate. Mm-hmm. But I remember where we were. We were on 11th Street walking to my apartment when you asked me if you could call me your girlfriend.
Yeah,
It was very cute.
Yeah. I think now the older people would be like, are we exclusive?
But I also feel like it's way more wishy-washy. And I'm wondering, nowadays, is there the conversation first of like, hey, I'm really into us, but I'm not really comfortable with you like sleeping around a ton if we're sleeping together, or if we're at the point where you're sleeping over a lot. I want, basically it's a different version of the conversation of, are we exclusive?
You think?
I think so.
But
And
we
I
don't know
found
what
it,
we're talking about, maybe.
we don't. And I found watching Love Island, British one.
Yeah.
I found it really interesting that like asking someone to be your girlfriend is essentially a pre-proposal.
But that's a British thing. Those are a whole other set of different rules that we
Yeah,
don't know.
but what are their rules? Like, at what point are you exclusive? At what point, I don't know. So it's complicated in a way that we didn't have to deal with. And then add on to that Instagram and seeing that, you know, oh, I can imagine how fucking crazy I would go if like someone tagged, you know, even if you're dating someone, you don't even have to like, it's not even that they're posting pictures, but let's say a girl that he's dating elsewhere is posting and tagging, like you can, if you're really sleuthing, you can figure stuff out in a fun way.
But if you,
and then it turns out it's just his sister or something.
If you unfollow someone though, can you still see their tags, do you think?
Oh, I don't know those rules.
That would be one reason not to unfollow. Do you think we would unfollow each other if we broke up?
If we broke up?
Yeah.
No, we've built a life together. We have children together.
We'd probably want to keep following each other.
You're acting like we are just newly dating. Our breakup does not look like, we're not breaking up, first of all.
My Instagram is not that populated, so it would be pretty easy for me to scrub you. You would have multiple days' work of like pulling me out of your gram. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not scrubbing you. You're my children's father. First of all, I
think you would scrub a few.
Can we stop? I don't like this. I do feel what you're saying. I've been talking too much about like sizing up dicks and questioning dating ages and stuff. I'm like so not about that.
About which part?
About like us not being together.
Oh, yeah. But no one's saying that you are about that.
Okay. Well, what I do want to say is, especially, I will say, going through a hard time like we just did really drives home how fortunate we both are, but I am, to have a partner like you to weather these storms, to celebrate the good times. We have been, you know, dreaming together about things lately to give us kind of something to get excited about. And we're on the same page almost all the time. And we are very fortunate for that to be. Like, I feel really like some crazy shit would have to go down for... I would not leave you for any reason almost at this point.
I'm imagining we're in therapy right now, and you just give this speech, okay? And then I'm looking towards the therapist, and I'm like, the thing is, she can't stop talking about how big she thinks every other man's dick is. It's all she talks about, and it's all she thinks about.
Okay, great.
Okay. I'm with you, though. I'm right or die.
Okay.
I am.
I am too.
That's why I'm comfortable having this conversation.
Yes.
I'm not worried.
Okay, good.
But I do like to think about, like, how many days it would take. Like, how would you scrub your gram? You know?
You're talking about it, though, like we've been dating for 8 months.
But what is the cutoff? You know, what is, like, okay, so you date someone for 5 months, 5 years.
Okay.
Are you getting rid of all the pictures? I bet some people do.
It really depends on your situation. We are 20 years in. We have 2 kids who are 8 and 10 years old. We own properties together. Like, this is not, you know, we have some friends who have split up in the last couple of years, and some of them were in great circumstances, just kind of grew apart and moved on, and have had to parent in like really amazing ways together and, you know, work together. And then other friends have been in relationships that like, imploded and it was ugly and hard, they still have to work together and, because there are kids involved.
Yeah.
We would have to be really mature, but we're not going to, let's stop talking about it. Let's talk about how I'm shrinking. Will you stay with me if I turn into like the shrunken people on Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, like a little tiny.
Yeah, I can take.
I mean, in the TV, where they shrank them into the TV thing.
I don't know. But I like you getting smaller. It's fun. You're tiny.
Well, okay. That's a weird thing to say.
What do you mean?
Just going to the misogynistic. I want my women small.
Oh God, you're trying to have it way too many different ways here. I like it. I want you smaller.
That's not loaded at all. No, but I am.
You're shrinking.
So, going back to feeling geriatric. You put a little box under my feet. This couch kind of sucks. It's from IKEA that I'm sitting on.
You like to have a box on your feet
so it rests.
Because your feet don't hit the ground.
So that my hip flexors aren't working for an hour holding me up.
Right.
And today we had to go to a much bigger box.
A much bigger box.
And on top of that, it really made me feel like my grandmother Bubba. Mm-hmm. My mom's mom, who is a complicated woman, but very sweet. I felt very loved by her.
Yeah.
She was not always very sweet to everyone. Mm. I don't know why I feel like I have to. I don't know why I feel like I have to caveat everything I'm saying. Just painting an authentic picture. But she had a very long-running case of Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. She had it for something like 30 years. Crazy. Usually you have it for not that many. And, she constantly... What are you looking at me like that for?
Do you get smaller with this? Where's this going?
I don't know. Actually, it was just when you put the box under my feet. It reminded me of her nurses always kind of rearranging her body in certain ways and putting boxes and pillows and not appropriate.
Just for the record, I don't want that. I just want you tiny.
But you would stay with me, obviously, and take good care of me.
Yeah.
Same.
I think I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I would.
Nice.
That's such a thing. Men leave their wives with cancer all the livelong day.
It's such a bad look.
It's such a bad look.
It is such a bad look.
Woof.
I would not do it for that reason alone, of just the embarrassment of that. You don't want to look like that.
Yeah.
And then there's the benefit of taking care of someone. That's really nice too. But to look like that, you would not want to look like that.
Where you're bailing on your wife.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And it doesn't happen the other way very often, where a wife...
Oof, and I hate to do a double standard, but when that happens, that's a pretty hard one too.
Because
then you
women are
wonder,
expected to be to their nurturers and the
But then you wonder, what is going on though? Was that guy a piece of shit or something? It's
right.
So much rarer.
More
that
rare.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I do love seeing women do bad things that stereotypically they don't do, that guys more stereotypically do.
Uh-huh.
It's just kind of wild. It's more entertaining. Any true crime documentary, if it's a woman in the place of a man but is doing just as crazy of shit, you're this is really fucked up.
Well, in the Jinx, sorry, spoiler, his wife, who was his wife up until he died.
Okay.
Who, married him shortly after he had murdered his other wife, which someone does say in it. It takes a certain someone to seek out and want to marry someone after their wife died under very, very suspicious circumstances.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was a fierce businesswoman. Back in the day in New York in the 80s, she had one of the first real estate companies that was all attractive, smart women employees.
Okay.
but she abused them.
The women?
Yes, and here's how. You're gonna fucking love this. This is so fucking crazy. Now imagine a man doing this.
Okay.
She would have the women, like once or twice a week, come into her office, line up, and raise an arm so she could sniff each woman's armpit. And if she smelled anything, she sent them home to bathe. What the fuck? What kind of mental fucking shit is that? I mean, wild.
That would not get past HR in this age. No. Like, at all. Whoa.
Whoa.
That's some pathology. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Because, okay, here's the crazy thing.
Also, is that a kink? Like, she has to go in and smell. For her, even. I'm like, you got to get in and smell each armpit.
Well, that's the thing, is if you heard this story and it was like a guy did it, you'd be like, fucking creepo, fucking
jerking off
sick,
right after.
Sick fuck, like power
like
move.
Cindy had a little BO today.
Like,
yeah.
Well, okay.
Oh, yeah. Cindy.
Stop. No, stop. But it's we all can do the math on the guy. We're just like piece of shit, power hungry, creep,
Kink.
sex, deviant person, right?
Yeah.
But the woman, it's like, what? It just, there is something more interesting about the women doing these kind of fucked up things.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem.
It's not so cut and dry.
Like men are just dumb and simple. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Where women are fascinating.
Yes.
I wonder if I would ever be attracted to like a bad girl. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm a bad girl. I'm a bad girl.
But let's say, and I know this is like you're not liking any of these scenarios where we're not together.
I know.
But I'm trying to think of like.
I guess you've earned this.
Like, is there a word? Like,
you'd
could
be
I
too
be
intimidating.
Dumb enough of a guy that was like attracted to the, like, she might have murdered her husband.
No.
It's like, no. What?
No.
Are you kidding me?
We're too basic. We find, like we have friends who are attracted to relationships that bring kind of an element of chaos and drama to it. I think it makes it feel more like alive and impassioned and stuff. But from our perspective, it looks maybe a little bit toxic and like there's always drama.
Why is there always tiring?
And we're too tired for it. Like, I think if they look at what we have, it's probably like, that seems so fucking boring.
Yeah.
But
they don't know about all the armpit sniffing kinks that we have and cool shit.
But yeah. Wait,
anyways, you're small. I feel like we keep trying to say you're small and you're not small. I think you might have lost. How tall do you think you are?
5. Well, now I used to say I was 5'5". I know I lost a little bit with the back surgery.
I bet you're 5'2" now.
No.
Yeah.
I am not 5'2".
I have a tape measure here. Maybe at the very end of the episode because I don't want to mess up the cameras.
Yeah.
Let's measure you.
Okay.
I think you're 5'2" today.
No, I'm not. I'm at least 5'3" and a half, 5'4".
I think in reality, you say you're 5'5".
No, now I say I'm kind of 5'4".
I think you might be 5'2" today.
Okay.
It would make all sorts of sense with the box because the box that we put in is at least 4 inches taller today.
I'm a little teapot. I disagree. We'll find out.
Speaking of, and I feel like I've brought this up to you a gazillion times, I have to figure out a way. We put these videos up on YouTube now.
Yes.
I cannot tell you the amount of time that I spend trying to get our proportions right. And
because your head is so big?
It is a mind fuck for me every week because I'm like, is my head that big? No. But then when I try to get my head closer to your size, that doesn't make sense. And then my nose in the equation of all of it, I'm like, is my nose 2 times bigger than your nose? I need to look up, like, is there a way that we're both holding an object that's the same size or something for perspective? Because
Yeah.
and what's funny is I think if you go to our YouTube, you would probably see, like, he hasn't quite figured it out. Like, every week it's probably a little different. But, like, what's going on with our heads, you
Well,
and
we
me?
just have different sizes of things, I guess. And
Is my nose huge?
no.
Is it?
No.
That was not, you could say it.
No. I'm just like looking at it on your face. Here's the thing. Your nose is wonderful. We've already gone over this.
Uh-huh.
It fits perfectly in. Like, if you had a smaller nose, it would look weird.
That's not the question, though, really. And I can hear it. Like, is it a really big nose? Like, if I disappeared, okay, we're traveling abroad, okay?
Uh-huh.
We're in...
We've already done this. Am I doing the sketch thing?
Oh, right. Okay, well, we'll do a very quick version of it.
I just showed them a picture on my phone. Or nobody's...
Okay, so you're doing... Okay, fine. You show I disappear. You go up to the policeman. I can't find my husband. He says, can I see a picture on your phone? He sees a picture on the phone, and then he's calling into base, and he has to give a little description. Is he saying, like, this guy's got a large nose?
No.
He's not. Okay.
No. Not in proportion to your face. I am curious if we...
You keep saying that.
If we took a picture of our heads, like, truly side by side,
Yeah.
like, ear to ear, basically.
To me, they don't look that crazy in that view, but maybe they do. Maybe we don't get that picture enough.
We can try it. Okay, we're measuring my height, we're measuring your face, and we'll carry on with life.
Sounds like a fun afternoon, just measuring each other.
God.
That's my kink, is measuring you.
Well, don't say that. That
Why?
sounds...
I just did.
I know, but it's like...
I'm going to set up that.
It's like
so here's the thing. We've forgotten to ever do it for the kids, but you find a secret thing where I have a log of all the pencil marks for you.
Well, we were joking. It sounds a little too close to the joke you used to make, which I actually love.
Which is
about you weighing me every day.
You are the one that makes that joke.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, you make the joke that I make the joke, like, that I say that.
Oh.
I was not the origin of that joke.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh. That's funny. What a funny joke.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've asked you this before, but I want you to really...
I'll probably shrink too, by the way, with you, which is the bummer of all of this.
Well, we just need to work on our posture. That's what's crazy, is I'm very posture conscious.
But you're shrinking.
But I'm shrinking. Okay. If you could have one skill that you don't currently have,
Mm-hmm.
and actually just for this exercise, let's not have it have anything to do with a skill you already have. So nothing to do with music or music, basically.
Okay.
Editing. What would that skill be?
Read.
Oh my God. Read. Just one word. Read. Okay.
Do you have one locked and loaded? I might need a little inspiration.
Yes, I have one locked. This is, I saw someone doing something.
Oh.
And I was like,
Cirque du Soleil stuff?
no,
Okay.
just woodworking.
Oh.
I feel like that's such a useful skill that you can put towards so many things. And I feel like seeing people using like different saws and like it opens up a world of possibilities if you knew how to really work with wood.
It would be nice if you knew how to work with wood.
Okay.
I think that would be cool. That would be really cool. A lot of sawdust.
Yeah.
You become, but no, very cool. I like that for you.
I mean, we have
All
the room
woodworkers-
here to put up a
Yeah.
table saw. Is that what it's called? I don't know.
That would be a start. And we have resources. We have friends that are really into it that could help us get started.
But almost, I feel like they're too good.
No.
Okay.
Or no, I mean, they are too good, but I mean, like, they would be happy to
Help idiots
get
like us?
started. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. That's a good one. The only other thing about the wood, though, the sawdust is a problem. Oh, every woodworker I know, they get some injuries.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't
Has
get...
our friend? Who's like
Oh,
a
for
master carpenter.
sure he's had some things, yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, I want to text him and find out what things are. I wasn't thinking of him in particular. I'm thinking of a couple other woodworkers I know.
Were you there in school when someone lost a finger
In the gym?
Gym. I'm so glad that you remember that. And for anyone who's new listening, Andy and I went to middle school together for a few years before.
You were only 4 foot.
Okay. But you were measuring Beth Brunner at that time.
Oh, yeah. Legs for days.
Legs for days. So, Andy, you saying that, because as I said that, I was like, wait, is this a memory I made up?
No, that's real.
It really happened. A kid was in gym and the weights like fell on his finger.
Whoa. Okay. We're having the same fucking memory. Yeah. The rectangle stack of weights
where
that go
you would
up,
put
up.
the pin in to the pin wasn't securely in.
I don't think we've ever talked about this, you and me.
I don't think so either.
And it was, this must be real.
And he lost a finger, I think.
I almost want to say maybe it was like a tip or something and they were able to do like a good
glue on.
I think maybe it was salvaged.
I hope so, obviously.
God, how many fingers have been taken by those weights? You know what I mean?
I don't know how they would salvage it.
I don't know. There's way more cool modern medicine things.
Yeah.
I think it's within the realms.
Yeah.
Got to put that shit on ice, though. I feel like I remember that as part of the story.
Putting it in a Ziploc bag on ice.
You got to put it on ice.
I think I remember that too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Put it on ice.
Wow.
You got to think quick. That's when you want your school nurse to think quick. And I think they do. Shout out all the school nurses out there, which, you know what? There aren't really school nurses anymore, which is fucked up.
Well, I think there are at like fancy private schools.
But they're like part-time. Or at least
at like nice schools. They're just not the like... Our schools don't, our public school is like, you're lucky if you get a nurse for half a day a week.
Yeah. They're not there the whole day.
They do the best they can. Underfunded. Well, I mean, it just reminded me of, we'll talk more about this on Patreon, but at one point during this journey with Ramona, part of her eye like fell out. Remember?
Oh,
and I was like, let's get it. Let's find it to take it to the vet.
Yeah.
Like, don't save that part.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we were grasping at straws at that point.
Yeah. But
we didn't find it.
No. And I don't think it would have been relevant either.
It ultimately definitely wasn't, because we didn't even get to that point.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We have anything like light to like wrap up on, sort of, you know?
What is your real thing?
Oh, skill?
Yes.
Wow, that's a great question. I don't have a locked and loaded answer. How locked and loaded was your woodworking one, or did you see a woodworker recently and you're like, ooh, that would be so cool?
It's kind of not fair. Yeah, I saw a woodworker and I just was like, what a great skill that I feel like then you can apply to so many situations in life. Like, very cool. I'm contemplating redoing one of our bathrooms. Now, it would just be surface stuff. So painting I don't know what that's called, the like wood part that's along the wall that has like the little, there's like some slatted wood that goes up halfway the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Painting that and then wallpapering the rest of it.
Cool.
And taking that on, I'm like, could I do it? Or is this one of those things that...
You could definitely do the painting part. Wallpaper, I think you want to get a person. Unless you get one of those new kind of wallpapers that are like...
lined up for idiots to...
And are almost like just the sticker kind.
Well, in a bathroom, I don't think that's smart.
But I think it's legit wallpaper. You probably want to hire someone because that's like a real art.
I know it is, but I'm also like, what if I could really... It would be hard, but what if I could really get it down?
But it's one of those things where it's like just one room.
Yeah.
And for you to get it down, it's probably going to cost more than having someone just do it.
Right, and the wallpaper I want would probably be nice, you know.
Knowing you.
Knowing me.
You know.
Okay.
The skill thing's so hard. You know what I was going to say because you're like, don't say anything with music. I wish I could like sight read and play piano, that like I could just read anything and just play it instantly.
Going back to your read answer. Across the board.
It'd be cool to like know how to like cook really well, to just have that skill and also have the organizational skill along with it, that the kitchen wouldn't be out of control. Do you think there are some really good chefs that it's just a nightmare in the kitchen? Or do you think most of them, to get to that level, have to get a harness on that?
I think you have to get a harness. Or have staff who are taking care of everything as you go.
But it's like, how would you have gotten that far to be able to have that staff and be that good if you... I wonder if there are any.
That's a great question. If any nobodies know the answer to that, because I do think many chefs are artists and are like, have some chaos and, you know, are kind of mad scientist type of people and aren't necessarily the type A, like everything's in its place people.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if they truly have to work really hard to adopt those organizational skills, or if in some cases it's just madness. And
yeah, it seems like there's like a few different types of really good chefs, because there's the ones where it almost looks effortless, right? And then there's the ones that like, you think of the ones that are doing like crazy...
The chopsticks that pick up the single sesame seed.
Yeah, and it like a level of like psychopathic like precision.
Yeah.
Like the serial killer type chefs.
Yes. Now, I worked in a restaurant, obviously, in New York City, and those weren't... That's my stomach.
That was your stomach?
Yes.
We're keeping that in.
No, please don't. I don't know what is going on.
I've never heard that.
Okay.
And these mics aren't, these are like, that's crazy.
We're talking about food and stuff. I don't know if it's like triggering. These weren't chefs. I would call them cooks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You really, to have like a disorganized kitchen, because sometimes things would get a little chaosy up in there at Rodeo Bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good, because in terms of cleanliness, in terms of like what you're putting out for the customers.
It's a fucking nightmare.
So yeah, you want to keep it clean. Okay, let's stop, because I'm embarrassed now about my stomach. And
oh, don't be embarrassed about. That's such an interesting thing to be embarrassed about. You find it embarrassing?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder why.
I don't know.
You just haven't eaten anything.
I know.
And it's like abnormally loud sounding. No, but isn't that a funny thing to be embarrassed about?
We were just talking about this with your dental hygienist.
Well, no, we were talking about like
having to shit. But
you had heard the
But if you
pains.
were hearing this, well, a hygienist, oh my God, I'm turning into you, was working on you, you would be like, hey, do you need to...
Well, where my brain goes is that they would need to take a dump, right? When you've said you've heard stomach growls in that situation, are you just thinking like, oh, they're hungry?
Well, if it were this, I would assume that they would say, ooh, like, yeah, my body knows it's lunchtime, or that's wild, or whatever. But the truth is, my stomach is feeling a little funky right now. So I want to end this podcast.
Did we? Okay, because last night I had tummy troubles late at night, which that doesn't happen to me.
So
like,
night.
did we eat
Andy,
something?
night.
Is this a problem? I gotta measure you real quick before you go.
Okay, fine. Good night.
Good night. Oh, 5'4". I stand corrected.
Okay, great. All right, I'm off to this.
Okay. Bummer.